Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. It's Sunday now, so the weekend's almost over with us. So thank you so much for joining and watching this video. And we're gonna get into two things. One is I'm gonna be on Tether, getting into actually Bitcoin mining and investing in other Bitcoin miners as well. So we'll cover that story that actually came out on Friday. And then we're also gonna just take a quick look to see how the Bitcoin miners performed against Bitcoin this week. And we'll call it a day. It should be a pretty easy day. As always, the chapter's gonna be down below for you guys. So if you guys are interested in that, and as always, not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research. I'm invested in the following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And be sure to smash the like button, helps the YouTube algorithm. So let's get into first, we'll take a look at Bitcoin here really quick. What's going on with that? It's having actually a pretty good day today. And here's what we have. So Bitcoin was up today a little bit. It was up approximately 0.82% so far, or this is this week, sorry, on the weekly. Today we had a better day. So we actually finished out the week in the green, which I was kind of surprised. We were down on the week on Friday a little bit. I thought I was going to finish out in the red. But we've had so far 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in the green with Bitcoin here, which is nice to see. We obviously had a big candle here going down the wick, and then we came back up throughout the week. So that's good news there. If we look at the daily chart here really quick, we can see here that we were up today 2.18%. We closed at 37,391. We're definitely way up here. If we look at the RSI on the daily is at 64 right now. And going back here, it was at about the same spot. And the RSI at that point was 83. And this was basically, was this about 7-8 days ago or so. So I think that's good. It's a good trend going forward. We'll maybe have another green week here coming up this week. But based where Bitcoin is right now, we may have a pretty good day in the miners as well tomorrow. Okay, so we'll see what happens there. Now, let's take a look at the story from earlier this week, which was on Friday, about Tether. So crypto landscape shifts as Tether drops 500 million bombshell on Bitcoin mining expansion. This is a little misleading. I thought, wow, they're going to put in $500 million. They're going to be getting close to probably 15 exahash or 20 exahash if they do this. But it's a little bit muted from that, and we'll get into the details here. Here's what you do have. So the company, according to a newly appointed CEO, Paolo Ardino, is looking to pour out 500 million over the next 6 months, building new mining facilities and acquiring stock in already existing mining companies are two aspects of this audacious expansion. So further down below, we'll actually see how much they're looking to put into their own self-mining here, at least in the short term, within the next couple months here, and where they want to get to. But also looking at they're looking to buy existing mining stocks is also kind of nice. It's definitely going to help out some of the stocks that they're going to be buying. We don't know which ones they're going to be buying, but I'm guessing probably it's going to be either Marathon, Riot, maybe CleanSpark, BitDeer in there as well. We'll have to see if they report that or not. Okay, going down here. So in order to rank among the top Bitcoin mining businesses worldwide, Tether has made some quite significant progress. The company's proposed $500 million investment is a big move that might propel the 87 billion stablecoin operator to new heights in a highly competitive market like cryptocurrency mining. And here's what we have on it down below. Going down here, Tether recently purchased a sizable stake in Northern Data AG, a Bitcoin mining operation with its headquarters located in Frankfurt, and issued 610 million in credit line to the company. So they're definitely going to be growing there. Tether's broader initiatives to diversify beyond its primary USDT stablecoin business includes a strategic position. So they want to diversify, not just be in the stablecoin. And then Tether's objective is to establish mining operations in strategically significant regions such as El Salvador, Paraguay, and Uruguay. We do have some miners already operating in those areas, jurisdictions as well. So we'll see how that's going to play out going forward. And let me see here. Here we go. Ardano delineated the corporate strategy of constructing mining facilities in chosen nations as the capacity spanning from 40 to 70 megawatts. So they're going to kind of split that up between the 2 or 3 nations possibly. Tether plans to increase its direct mining capacity to 450 megawatts by the end of 2025. That's going to be quite a bit there. And we'll take a look at some numbers here for that as well. So their current target is of 120 megawatts by the end of 2023. That doesn't leave them a lot of time, right? 120 megawatts. So they're either going to have to be buying facilities or mining facilities already out there, or trying to build out themselves, which is really a short time frame, unless they already have started something prior to this, right? So if they started a couple months back, maybe they can get to that. About 150 million is set aside for direct mining initiatives, some of which are currently being distributed to new sites. According to our Daniel, who spoke with Bloomberg, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name or his name, don't know exactly how to pronounce that. Okay, so we got basically they want to get to 450 megawatts by the end of 2025. So that's more, I think that's more doable. That gives them basically 2 more years. We're at 2023 now. You got all of 2024 next, and then 2025, which is going to be possibly at the at the beginning or towards the middle of the bear market there, if Bitcoin cycles hold this way. So one thing that would be wise to do is buy while things are cheap. Don't buy things as they get expensive in the bull run. Build out infrastructure and then buy again when we're in the bear market for miners and things like that, or whatever they need. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else that I highlighted here. I think that was it. All right. So let's take a look at some numbers here that we can run on this. So the first number that I ran here is they said they want to get to 120 megawatts by the end of this year. If we're using the latest generation miners from Antminer, the S21s, those are 200 terahash per miner, and they are about 3,500 watts per miner at this point. We're using 80% load of what's potentially going to be available, so that's 96,000 kilowatts. That gets us to a total of 27,429 miners potentially, right? 200 terahash at 3.5 kilowatts per hour miner. That gets us to 5.49 exahash per second. That gets us to pretty close to about 1 exahash or 1% of the Bitcoin network as it is right now. Right now, I think with the hash rate for Bitcoin network is around 450 exahash, somewhere around there. So this would be maybe a little bit more than that, but by the time that gets up to it, we might be at this spot right now. And I'm using a cost of $18 per terahash. I don't believe they have any credits they could not dilute, but get credits for it, bringing the cost down. So we saw one miner paying this much. So guessing this is what it might be. Okay, total cost for this would be $98 million just in the miners themselves. You tack on the infrastructure or buildings, whatever you need to do, the $50 million for that. That kind of makes sense, right? $150 million to get this thing started kind of makes sense there. Now, they did say that they want to get to 450 megawatts at one point. Depending in 2 years, we might have miners that are even more efficient, faster. And that would get us, if we're using just the same miners here, the 200 terahash miners, that would get them to approximately 20.5 exahash. That would definitely be a huge increase for them. And within 2 years, I do believe that would be doable for them. But depending where the other miners grow as well, that might put them definitely not in the top 5, I would say, but maybe somewhere around there, depending where the other miners grow, like Marathon, Riot, CleanSpark, BitDeer, Core even would be another one that could possibly grow even more once they get out of Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at that. If they buy better miners, let's say with better miners come along and they're at 280 at that point, they could possibly get to 28 exahash or something like that. Okay, so definitely would be a big miner, but it also depends on where the other miners grow. If the other miners grow double from where they are right now, well, then that would definitely put them still probably within the top 10 miners, maybe even in the top 7, something like that. So it is definitely an audacious plan that they have, and very aggressive based on the timelines that they're providing here, especially by the end of this year, to get to 1.2 or 120 megawatts at that point. So that's kind of what we're looking at here right now. And the numbers do add up. So I don't see any issues with that. It just all depends on the time frame for them, and can they get everything installed, the facilities up and running, all that stuff by the end of this year, which only has now, what, a month and a half, maybe even less than that. So we'll have to see. We'll have to keep an eye on them. I'll have to do a little bit more research on Tether. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Let me know what you guys think of this. Obviously, this is another miner that's going to be out there. It's definitely going to increase the hash rate going forward for everybody else. And it's going to put more strain. But as long as Bitcoin's up there in price, it's going to be definitely profitable for everybody here. Plus, we're seeing at least a lot of the transaction fees adding up again here recently in the Bitcoin network. So that's going to be helping out miners as well. And then obviously going forward, there's going to be a time where eventually the miners are not going to be getting that much from the rewards. We're going to have to depend more on the transaction fees to pay for the securing of the network. Okay. All right. So that's it. That's it. I thought that was kind of cool and kind of interesting to kind of go over the numbers here on this one. Like I said, let me know what you guys think of this one, and then let's take a look at the miners, see how they did this week. So as always, when we look at this numbers here, we always take a look at where the miners are from the 52-week lows and how far away they are from the 52-week highs. And we're going back, obviously, 52 weeks on this. I'm also, for this data, I'm using the Bitcoin price as of Friday. So when we look at the miners versus Bitcoin, I do it Friday to Friday for the miners and for Bitcoin as well. So you'll see on this chart that Bitcoin was actually down for this week from Friday to Friday, while it's actually up on the regular week, which ends on Sundays today, okay? Just a little explanation here. So we can still see that core here is up quite a bit here from its 52-week lows this year. Cypher, same thing. DigiHost, BitDigital, Riot, Marathon, Bitfarms, Argo, DMG, Iris, Hut 8 are all above where Bitcoin is so far. Bitcoin's up 134% for the 52 weeks. CleanSpark is below that. Hive is below that. TerraWolf, BitDeer, Mawson, and Sphere 3D as well. And then you can see how far the miners are away from their 52-week highs here, percentage-wise. The one that's the farthest away is Mawson right now. Then you could probably go to Sphere 3D, TerraWolf, along with BitDeer. And then we get into Argo, Iris, and then we're down in the 50s here, okay? So that's the way things stack up. Now, looking at the weekly numbers here. So this is this past week. We can see here that TerraWolf, CleanSpark, Marathon, BitDigital, Riot, DMG, BitDeer, DigiHost have done better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin, like I said, on Friday was down on the week from Friday to Friday. It was down 1.67% or 1.92%, sorry. Bitfarms was down 1.67%, and then Argo, Hive, Iris, Sphere 3D, Moss, and Core, Hut 8, and Cypher were down even more than that, okay? So looking at those numbers, we can see here. Let's take a look at the 4 weeks here. Sort descending as well. We'll do that. We can see here that Bitcoin from 4 weeks ago is up 7.92%. The following companies have done better. We got Riot, DMG, Marathon, and then everybody else below has done worse on the 4-week time span, with the worst performers being Cypher and Mawson here being down 25 and 23%. And if we look at the 8 weeks here as well, really quick, we can see here that Bitcoin is actually up 35%, almost 36%. So it's the best performing asset here out of the miners here. So we have seen the miners decouple as far as the leverage play has been compared to Bitcoin here. And that is, like I keep saying, it's mainly because we're getting close to the halving event. The only thing that could change that possibly is the spot Bitcoin ETF, which then could propel both Bitcoin and the miners and might kind of break that cycle that we've seen last cycle in 2020, prior to 2020. Okay, so everybody else here was down. The worst ones being down BitDeer and Sphere 3D. BitDeer was down 58%, Sphere 30% from 8 weeks ago. And then we got obviously DMG being up quite nicely, almost 35%, DigiHost being up 22, Marathon up 17, Riot up 12, Argo up 12, Bitfarms up 10, and so on and so on. And then lastly, we'll take a look at the 12 weeks chart here as well. And here's the numbers that we do have for them. Bitcoin being up 41% from 12 weeks ago, BitDeer being down 68%. So Bitcoin, again, outperforming all of the miners here. The only ones that were positive were DMG and DigiHost, two of the smallest miners that we track here, surprisingly enough. And then we had, obviously, everybody else below here. So it's kind of interesting. All right, we'll see how long this decoupling lasts. I'm thinking possibly until the halving event, unless we get the spot Bitcoin ETF. That might actually change things for us. All right, so here's how things stack up here on the charts. You can see that, or on the data. This week as well, you can see that Bitcoin and the miners were kind of mixed a little bit here, more of a red day or red week for the miners and Bitcoin than we have seen. Well, pretty much the last 2 weeks, we're kind of in the red here. We had 3 weeks prior to that were in the green for the miners and for Bitcoin. So a little break in there was kind of expected, okay? But that's it. Just a quick update, see what's going on here. We'll see what happens this week. Also, we are still missing a couple miners here for their, let me see here, what are we missing them on? I believe we're missing them on the monthly. We're still waiting for Stronghold. Stronghold has not provided their October production update. And then when we look at the actual quarterly results, we still have DigiHost, Iris. Iris, I don't know if they're going to provide those. They might do that biannually. I believe DMG already provided theirs. I have to update their numbers here. Core, I don't believe they have done theirs yet either. I'm looking at Q2 numbers here as well. I don't think those have changed yet. Yep. So Core, we're waiting on Core. CleanSpark is going to be a little bit late because they're doing their annual report, which has to be audited as well. So that's going to take possibly into sometime in December before that gets released. Okay. Once we get all those numbers in, then we'll do the metrics on the miners, see how they performed on the quarterly results. Okay. So that is it. I hope you guys had a great week. Weekend. I hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead. It's going to be a short week. We only got 3 trading days, I believe, in this week because we have got Thanksgiving on Thursday, Big Friday, or Black Friday on Friday. So market's going to be closed on those 2 days. So it'll be a much shorter week for that, and we'll see how things go. Okay, so As always, thank you so much for watching. This project is going to be available to my Patreon members. As always, it's still $5 for you guys to get access to that, along with the private Discord channel that we have there, which we have a lot of great communication there as well. So I'll leave it at that. Link is down in the description bar if you're interested in that. All right, so thank you so much. Hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you guys in the next one.